Word.
There we go.
Seem to be on screen.
What's that?
Oh, I just got a fiddle with the screen here. It's on a split screen for some reason. Yeah. That's weird.
No, Emily, I thought I wrote down your phone number to add to my phone, and evidently I don't have it.
Okay.
Because we went into that discussion in case I needed to reach you.
Yeah, I'll.
Well, that's a consulting fee though per call, so you should probably consult with her assistant, Bob.
Oh, what? Thing is, I have the cheap phone system, I don't have internet here and Facebook, and nobody knows the password. Although I might be lucky. What's your phone number? Mine? Mm-hmm. Oh, of course, the 509-979-3054. Okay. And I'll send you a message, and you will have mine. And I'll have yours, I promise only to use it if I need you, or need to let you know. I'll leave you a message, no matter which.
Yeah, that's what Terry did today. She texted me and let me know she's not being here today, so I am perfectly okay with that. That works for me.
Not that I'm.
And these guys text me when I mess up in class. No, just kidding.
Wait, do I have that ability? I do.
Yeah. Right here. Here you are. Yeah, I think I've texted everybody at least once, but I don't know if I had your cell phone. I think I only had your home phone.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
So, but when I had to cancel a couple times over the winter, I had reached out to people and.
Well, I don't know why I did that. Well, it depends.
Because you don't want the telemarketing calls when you give any business your phone number.
Yeah, well, I do get those. If Medicare calls me one more time, I'm gonna strangle them.
Right.
I was looking in there and it looked like you were holding your foot up behind you. And I was looking and I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's the right outfit. This isn't recording. What's happening? If I fall asleep, just kick me.
I promise to bring you home with me if you fall asleep in class. I won't leave you here to sleep in the gym. I promise.
To carry you.
He's been traveling today. He's very tired.
I was up since 3:30 this morning.
Our time or
East Coast.
because it changes?
East Coast.
Oh, what's that?
I came back in time to be with you guys.
Oh, that was stupid. All right.
So we've been doing some pretty themed classes lately. Today we're gonna kind of come back to the basics and do a nice well-rounded class.
Yeah, so it's about 9 p.m. for me right now. That's 18 hours.
I wonder if,
And this is my other senior partner here.
yes, she is not here today. Like I said, she texted earlier today, so she wouldn't be here today. She will be here on Thursday.
Well, she's all right.
Yes, she,
Some more ailments than
I
this.
see.
no, that was, she got her booster. So she's,
She went for the 4th booster.
I don't know which one.
I got all 3.
Yeah, I've gotten 3
I'm not gonna do
doses.
them, I don't know. I don't see the sense in the 4th one.
You bought it?
I've only had the 2. I'm scared to get anymore. My mom
Well,
told
the
me.
booster's a half dose. So if you handled the first 2 okay, then, the boosters aren't as
That's
bad.
what they came up with.
I am totally.
You said Faith is coming in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2.
But I had done the regular flu shot too, so that was like 4, a month and a half. So we're pretty secure to the point there.
Were any of you guys here the day I asked you to come up with goals? Or I know you guys online were here.
Last Tuesday.
Tree pose?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna get up on my toes.
You gotta get up on your toes?
I wanna do a
I
back.
got half, I got a little bit last time, but that's as far as I got. I couldn't do
He's
the
doing
exercise.
that. Can't do that. I need to be able to do that. I wanna do that again.
Which one?
Just bridge.
The wheel? Yeah.
I think
I can't remember the terminology until you mention it, and then I remember.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's about
self-taught.
shoulder mobility. And also it's about hip flexor mobility.
I'll try it then.
I could probably use a little.
Yeah, you have to have some pretty open hips and shoulders. So next time we come up to a spot where that might be a good option, we've warmed up those joints enough, we'll offer that and help you into it and see. Right?
Okay.
And then you want to get up on your toes.
Do you stay connected with the other people in the area that do the yoga? No, not that I'm planning on leaving you, but
No,
if
just
the
the
need
two
comes,
subs.
I heard there's a girl over at,
While we're waiting for Faith, did you guys come up with anything online there?
Yeah, they have a program with the Y.
programming, if she was any good.
I don't know if she's any.
I did, but the dog ate it.
Oh,
Nah,
likely.
Tell her what your goals actually.
Actually, no, I'm looking to better blend mindfulness
With the 5 kids.
and breathing. And, I think, we're reading this book about nose,
Yeah.
that integrates with yoga. It's more, it seems like a combination of nose and mouth. But they haven't quite sorted that out yet.
All right.
That's
So a little bit better breath control then?
something like that. But yeah, there's some goal. But I don't know what it's going to look like.
All right, cool. Keep me posted.
That's the process.
I'm still pondering, and I'll text you something when I come up with it, but aside from the more general things of maintaining strength and flexibility as I age, but I think I want to come up with a couple of more specific things too.
Great. I like it. Good to keep thinking on it too. Yeah, and same with you guys. If you think of something along the way that you're like, oh, I changed my goal or I'm adding a goal, you let me know. And we will work on that. Are there any poses that anyone needs a little bit of a breakdown or a reminder on?
I'm trying to get to a standing forward fold with my palms on the ground flat without it being any kind of a strain. And you were telling me a couple of different things, but we didn't get a chance to really dive in.
Okay. So hands on the ground with standing forward fold.
Yeah, like comfortably.
Yeah. Coming up on your toes and dancer pose and wheel. Got it. Cool. These are all really good. I'm gonna put them in my memory. Get rid of a couple other things like the protocols for the front desk. Just kidding. All right. Well, let's start our breath exercise, and then if she comes in, we'll get her started. So I want you to find a comfortable seated position. And once you find a good seated position, find a tall spine, close the eyes and reach the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And think about where your body is in space. Are you leaning forward or backward, or are you upright? Our aim is to be upright with as minimal discomfort as possible. And then start to lengthen your breaths, bringing your inhales and exhales a little bit deeper. Breathing through the nose. And we breathe through the nose in our breath exercises. And I don't often talk about it, but we breathe through our nose the whole way through class as well. It helps us to slow the breath. It helps us to gain a little bit more control over our breath. And it helps our nervous system to calm down, which leads to control over a lot of our other systems. Our circulatory system, it slows our heart rate. Our digestive system makes it a little bit more efficient. Because when we're calm, we can digest, right? In and out through the nose. Yeah. There's only a few exercises that we do, and I'll always cue it when I want you to breathe out of the mouth. And I don't think I ever teach an inhale through the mouth. I think it is one exercise that I have practiced but not taught. Simply because we don't want to bring cold air into our bodies. And taking a few more breaths to center ourselves, focusing on the moment, the present. And on your next exhale, lower the chin down to the chest. Inhale as you start creating circles with the head, slowly rolling past one shoulder and back, and past the other shoulder and forward. And then switch direction. Next time your chin comes down to the chest, stay there. And release the hands and place the hands on the back of the head. Let the arms get heavy. Feeling the stretch on the back of the neck. Still sitting tall to feel the stretch go through the mid-back and the upper back. And release. Let the hands come back down, bring the head back to neutral. Inhale to look over the left shoulder. Exhale to look over the right. Inhale back to the left. And exhale to the right. Come back to center. Bring the left ear down to the left shoulder. Left arm reaches up and wraps around the head. No, wait. Head goes that way, and then use your other arm. There you go.
I was very confused about following.
Now, as we bring our head a little closer to the shoulder, reach that other arm out towards the ground, reaching with the fingertips. Finding the sweet spot where you find the most stretch. With the eyes closed or with like by mirroring me?
Hearing you.
You are welcome to mirror me, I don't mind. You're gonna hold this stretch for one more breath. And gently release. Let the head come back to neutral. Then we're gonna bring the right ear down to the right shoulder. Right arm wraps around the head. Gently pulling the head to the side. And the left hand reaches out towards the floor. Using the fingertips to, sorry, my arm is going off for some reason. Finding the stretch here on the side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. And release. Let the head come back to neutral. Bring the hands on top of the shoulders. Elbows directly out here. We're gonna start our circles with the elbows, bringing them up and forward, down and back, and continuing your circles. Linking breath with this. You're gonna exhale as you go forward and inhale as you go back. Keeping in mind that we typically exhale every time we close off the front of the body, and we inhale as we open it up. And then switch directions. And relax the arms. Bring the left hand behind you on the mat. Right hand to the left knee. Inhale to sit tall. And exhale to twist. Looking over your shoulder. Feeling the twist go all the way from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the top. Inhale to release. Switching sides, right hand behind you, left hand to the right knee. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, pull that belly in and twist. And release. Place the hands behind you on the mat. You can be on your hands or your fists for support. The feet come to the mat a little wider than hip width. Nice bend in the knee here. And then we let the knees fall to the left and to the right. Linking the breath with this, let one side be your inhale, the other side be your exhale. Rolling over the sacrum, letting the hips move in their internal and external rotation. Come back to center. And we're going to move into tabletop, so you can either cross the legs and roll forward or swing the legs out to the side. Finding tabletop, we make sure that our pointer fingers are forward, the rest of our fingers are wide spread apart. And then inhale as you look up with the belly dip down for cow pose. And exhale as you tuck the chin and tailbone in, rounding the back. Use your breath to move back to cow on your inhale. And exhaling to cat when you're ready. Just continuing the breath and moving between the two poses. Return back to a neutral spine. Curl the toes under and press the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Letting the head hang between the arms. Deeply bending one knee and then the other. letting the movement come into your feet, ankles, and knees. Starting to feel the stretch on your hamstrings and calves. And then come to a still spot. Take a deep inhale, look between the hands, and walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Let the knees stay soft and hang the body over the legs. Shake the head yes or no. Make sure that you're not holding any tension in the neck. Take hold of opposite elbows. Gently sway from side to side in ragdoll. The heavier you allow your head and arms to be, the greater benefit you have in this pose. You may feel some slight decompression or stretch in the mid-back. Then release the arms. Inhale to stand tall, reaching the hands up for upward facing hands pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to standing forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down, take a big step back with the right foot. Bring the right knee down to the mat, uncurling the back toes. If you need to bring blocks under your hands, to bring the floor a little closer up, you can. And we're going to pause here in our low lunge to start sinking into this right hip flexor. So we start shifting our body weight from here forward. Bring your leg out to the side a little bit more then. Yeah. You can even step the foot out a little bit if you want to. There. So you should feel that stretch in the front of the right hip here. Now we're going to leave our right hand down on the floor or the block. Our left arm reaches forward. And then we're going to do a couple big circles around. Nice slow circles. Do one more. And then bring both hands down. Ground through the left heel and lift up into crescent moon lunge. You are welcome to keep both hands on that left thigh for support or lift the arms up. Bring the hands back down. Firmly planting the hands, we're going to lift the back knee up by curling the right toes. Lift the back knee and step back with the left foot into plank. And then lower all the way down to the mat. Bring the hands so they're to the side of the face on the mat. Elbows are close into the body. Press the tops of the feet down to engage the legs. Without putting any weight into the hands, inhale and lift the head and chest up. Engaging the back muscles. And release. Inhale up again. This time you're going to put a little bit of weight into the hands, so we're coming up a little higher. Start to feel that pulling forward motion with the hands. And release. Inhale as you come up one more time, putting even more weight into the hands, still drawing the body forward. And relax down. Bring the hands back now so that they are underneath the shoulders. And inhale up into cobra pose. Keeping the elbows close in, shoulders down away from the ears. Hold for one more breath. And then exhale, move through tabletop to downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here in down dog. Inhale and look between the hands. Walk both feet up to the top of the mat. Exhale into standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And plant the hands. Take a big step back now with the left foot. Left knee comes down. Uncurl the back toes. So we're in our low lunge here. Again, you can position the hands however you need them to be. Starting to sink now into our hips, feeling that stretch in the front of the left hip flexor. Now ground through the left hand, reach the right arm forward, up and around, and then make a couple more big circles like that. And then come back to center here. Ground through the right heel. Take a deep inhale and lift up into crescent moon lunge. Keeping the hands on the thigh is an option, or raising them up above is the other option here. Taking a couple more breaths here, really stretching the hip flexor. We're going to take one more breath and reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Ooh. Lift the back knee. And then step forward to meet the other foot. Exhale into standing forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come into chair pose, bending the legs. Take a quick glance down. Make sure you can see your toes, that your knees aren't coming too far forward. Tighten the belly. Maybe do a slight tuck of the tailbone to help engage the lower abs. Inhale to stand tall. Exhale, swan dive down to standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back with both feet into plank and lower down. Inhale up into cobra pose. And exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up and open the hips. exhale, bring the right foot through to the top of the mat, taking as many steps as you need, or using one of your hands to help get your foot to the top. Ground the left heel, preparing for warrior two. And inhale to lift all the way up, reaching front and back with the arms. So warrior two, the front knee is right over the ankle. Both palms are face down. And go ahead and check that back arm, see if it's where you think it is. And then bring your gaze back forward. Go ahead and release the pose for just a moment. And I'd like you to grab one of your blocks and place it in the tall position right on the inside of your right foot. Here, take it. You're welcome. So lift it up tall, yeah. We're gonna start tall, and then if you have the flexibility, you can start to lower it down. We're gonna bend this front knee again. Now usually, and I'll have you guys just hang out and watch for a second so that you don't have to be in the pose the whole time I'm explaining. Usually I have you do a modified side angle with the elbow, right? This is a different modification, and it will just help to kind of open that body up a little bit. So the knee stays bent, right hand comes down to the block, and the left arm does same, reaches up and over to diagonal. I don't know how much my body is blocking off from the camera, so I'll show it in this direction as well. You want to try to bring that left arm back so that you're not folding forward too much. Stability if you bring this foot further forward.
Yeah, better I can close it.
Yeah. The longer the stance, the closer you are to the ground. That's the only reason I asked.
Yeah, that's fine. Then I feel like a little puppy.
Yeah. All right, inhale and come all the way up, back to warrior two. Holding here for just a few breaths. Take a deep inhale and reach through the fingertips. And exhale, windmill the arms down to frame the front foot. Step back into plank and lower all the way down. Inhale up into cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, opening the hips. If you already did that side, do the other side. Bring the left foot through to the top of the mat, in between the hands. And ground the right heel, inhaling all the way up. Palms are face down. Left knee is bent. Right leg is straight. Holding nice and steady, strong here. Make sure that back arm is where you think it is. And then hopefully your block didn't travel too far away from you. You should be able to just take the block and place it on the inside of that front foot. Come back to a brief warrior two, just so we can transition in by gliding down. Left hand comes on the block. Right arm reaches up and over to diagonal. So make sure that you didn't lose that bend on the front knee. Hold here for one more breath. And then inhale to come up. Take a deep breath in and reach through the fingers. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center, straighten both legs. Pivot the feet so that they're both facing the side now. Bringing the hands to the hips. Toes are slightly pointed inward. Take a deep inhale, look up, reach the chest forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips, coming forward with the body. Bring the fingertips down to the center in between the legs. If you want to use a block here, you are more than welcome to place that underneath the hands. And play with your weight in your feet, bringing the weight from the heel to the balls of your feet is going to change that stretch a little bit for you. Now walk the hands over towards one side. Option here is to leave that opposite hand towards the foot and lift the other arm up. So for example, I'm over to my left foot right now, so my right hand stays down and my left arm reaches up. And anytime I give an option, please know that that is optional. You can stay where you're at. If you took that little twist option, bring the hand back down. Now we're all going to walk the fingers over to the other foot. If you'd like to take that arm option again, you'll leave the opposite hand down, raise that same side arm up. And then return the hand down if you took that option. Walk both hands back to center. Firmly ground the feet, tighten the legs, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale and stand up. Now you can heel toe the feet together. You can hop them together, however you'd like to. Come back. Now a little bit of foot strengthening. Come up onto your tiptoes. And then turn towards the back of your mat. Take small steps on your tiptoes to the back of your mat. Pausing once you get there. And then again using small steps. Walk backward on your tiptoes until you find the top of your mat. Once you're there, turn back around and release. I wasn't sure if you were being a ballerina or asking me a question.
I wasn't sure either way when I was up. But then I knew that it was a word.
All right, so the reason I have you guys tiptoe sometimes is to strengthen your balance, is to strengthen your feet, which brings us into our balance for today. We're gonna do it nice and simple. So we're gonna do 2 rounds. The first round will be half leg balance, and I'm going to request that you don't use anything for support with this. Now, what that might mean is that you keep this toe very close to the ground. Maybe you lift it for a second or 2 at a time if you're just building your balance, right? Maybe you keep it off the ground, but just a little bit. Or maybe you lift it all the way up, okay? We're gonna hold for 30 seconds and then switch. The second time that we go through our balance, you can have an option, and for the second round, feel free to use any support that you would like. You can either repeat the half leg balance, or you can do a tree pose, okay? So for the first round though, we are gonna do half leg balance. We're gonna test the muscles here, the hip flexor muscles, because that's the muscle that pulls up. Now, if you are prone to getting the cramp in your quadricep here, really focus on tightening the belly, because the belly muscles here, as you tighten, are going to assist your leg in lifting. So the more your belly does, the less that your hip flexor will have to do, and the less your quadricep has to do, and will reduce cramping possibilities. All right? If you have trouble balancing too, I will suggest moving off of your mat, because if you have any squish underneath your feet, it is a little bit more of an uneven balance. So we'll begin by grounding the left foot. Lift the left toes up, spread them apart, and release them down. Find a spot on the floor to gaze at, to focus on. Tighten the belly, and then find your half leg balance. All right, give that standing leg a little bit of a shake out. Loosen the hip and the ankle. Preparing for the other side now, we bring our hands back to heart center. Lifting the right toes up, spreading them apart, and relaxing them back down. Finding that spot on the floor to gaze at, tighten the belly, and lift the opposite leg. And release. All right. So now you have your choice. Okay, you can stay where you are, you can come over to the wall, you can do half leg balance again, or you can do tree pose. All right, we're gonna come back to grounding our left foot, preparing to lift our right leg up. If you're not supporting yourself on the wall or chair or anything, you're gonna have the hands at heart center. And then lift the right leg, either into half leg balance, or propping the inner foot on the calf or the thigh. If you are in tree and you would like to grow your branches, you can feel free to lift your arms. And very gently release. Give that standing leg a little bit of a shake out. We're going to come into our last balance of the evening. Lifting your right toes up, spreading them apart and relaxing them back down. So what I do, because I noticed you were manually separating your toes, sometimes my little toe doesn't want to do that either. So what I end up doing is like kind of rolling from pinky toe down, because I can kind of separate my pinky toe out and then prop it down. But that's how my feet work. I don't know if that would work for you guys. Right? So you either holding on to something or hands come to heart center. Find a spot on the floor to gaze at. Find that nice tight core and lift the left leg up for your variation of this balance. If you're in tree and you want to grow your branches up, you can do so. And release down. All right, come back to your mats. And we're gonna come down onto our mats. If you would like a supported bridge pose today, just make sure you've got your block handy. We are gonna do boat first. So as we prepare for boat pose, we're gonna do a slight tuck of the tailbone to engage those lower abs. Reach the chest forward. Reach the arms forward. And then lift one bent leg up. Again, the more you focus on your core, the less likely you are to have any type of leg cramp. And release. Give yourself a little break. And then reach the chest forward, tighten the belly. Reach the arms forward. And then lift the other side up. I think you have that side up, so I think you're ready. 10 more seconds. And release down. Now bring yourself to the front of your mat as you prepare to lay down. Use that nice warm core. Slowly lower the back down. Once our head makes contact with the mat, bring the heels in a little closer to the body. Take the block in one hand. Inhale and press through the heels as you lift the hips up. Place the block underneath the low back. And settle the block down, or settle your back down onto the block. Allow the arms to rest. Let the shoulder blades be comfortable underneath you. Couple cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. go of any tension you might be holding on to. On your next inhale, press through the heels, lifting the hips just enough to pull the block out from underneath you. Lower the hips down. Bring the knees in towards the armpits for happy baby pose. You can hold around the outside of your lower legs. You can hold your feet, or you can use a strap around the bottom of your feet to draw your knees a little closer in. Encouraging the low back down towards the mat. Gently rock the body from side to side, massaging the low back on the mat. Release happy baby pose. Bring the knees into the chest for a quick squeeze. And then release both feet down to the mat. Bring the right ankle over the left knee. If this is a good stretch for you, you can stay here, applying gentle pressure to the inside of the right thigh. Otherwise, lift the left leg up, interlacing the hands behind the left thigh. If you have a little bit more hip mobility, you may eventually bring your hands to the front of the shin instead. Encourage the low back down closer to the mat. Feel how that changes the stretch. On your next exhale, lift the head and chest up, bringing the body a little closer to the legs. And then release down, letting both feet come down to the mat, allowing the knees to sway from side to side a couple times. Come back to center. Bring the left ankle over the right knee. Either choose to stay here, giving gentle pressure to the inside of the left thigh, or lift the right leg off the mat, interlacing the hands on the back of the thigh, or on the front of the shin if you have that mobility. Encourage the low back a little closer to the mat. Again, feel how that changes the stretch. Acknowledging that the hips may be unequal. Feel which side is a little bit tighter. And then on your next exhale, lift the head and chest up, bringing the body a little closer to the legs. And then release both feet down to the mat, allowing the knees to sway. Bring the knees in for a hug into the chest. Release the arms out into a T. And let the knees fall to the left side. Aiming to keep the knees slightly above the navel with the best twist here. And if you need to bring the knees or the legs a little closer down to the ground, you can bring your left hand on top of the right thigh. If you want to deepen the twist from there, you just bring the right knee around the left knee. Gently come back to center. Give the knees another squeeze in before returning the arms back out into your T and relaxing the legs over to the other side. Again, you can use your right hand to brace your legs down, or you can hook the top knee around the bottom knee. Gently return back to center. And make any other small movements that you would like to before coming into your Shavasana. As always, you have the option to keep the knees bent if you'd like, letting the feet come out to the edges of your mat so that your knees can simply fall together. Or you can let the legs come down into your full Shavasana, allowing them to roll open naturally, letting the hands and the arms rest a little bit away from the body with the palms facing up. Grounding your shoulder blades underneath you. And with the eyes closed, feel a sense of softness coming between your brow, allowing the muscles of your face to relax. Let your shoulders and arms rest. And release any tension that you might be holding on to in the hips and the legs. Let them feel supported underneath you. Lastly, feel a warm, glowing light coming from your heart center, full of love and compassion. Allow that to spread throughout yourself before overflowing out of your fingertips and toes to reach everyone that you care about. And coming around to Do a shoulder assist. If you'd rather not have that today, place a hand on your belly. Otherwise, let yourself be relaxed for the next few minutes. Gently begin to wiggle your toes and fingertips, bringing your awareness back into your body. And reach up overhead to stretch from fingertips to toes. Slowly bring your knees into your chest and roll to your side into your fetal position for just a few moments, and appreciate all of your efforts and accomplishments today. And then gently press up from the side into a seated position. Inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale, give yourself a big hug. The light in me honors and respects the light in all of you. Thank you for sharing your time with me tonight. Namaste. I was surprised nobody fell asleep because I had you three in the front pegged to fall asleep for Shavasana.
I thought I was done with it. Like that.
It's always nice when you cue people to move their fingers and toes and nothing happens for at least.
You've lost them then.
Couldn't hear us snoring, could you?
You couldn't hear us snoring. We were.
Back when I used to teach out of my house, people would fall asleep and I would just quietly leave the room and they'd
Oh.
half an hour later, oh, I guess I fell asleep. And I was like, yeah, how do you feel now? Pretty good, right?
Mark of a good teacher.
All right, thanks.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you guys. Have a great night and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye-bye.